Once bitten and twice shy. I keep my distance, but you still catch my eye. Tell me, baby, do you recognize me? Well, it's been a year. It doesn't surprise me. What's going on, everybody? Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. We're here. We're live. And let's get into it, man. What's going on, Greg?
Not too much. Just finished my coffee here. It's a first time having a Vietnamese coffee. Oh no, not first time, but this one is the first time it was really good.
This type, huh?
Yeah. If you haven't had it before, it seems just like a normal coffee, but it's almost caramelish without the syrup. Like,
you know what it is?
Shooting down.
It's espresso. It's poured over espresso on ice, and then at the very bottom they put what is it called? Condensed milk, and that's what gives it that
richness,
that sugar rush, I guess. But the coffee, dude, they kill it. I love this coffee. It's one of the best for the buck.
Yeah.
So that quote on which we started today comes from a song called Last Christmas by Wham. And if you're not familiar with Wham, unfollow us.
I'm not familiar with Wham.
Greg, you're about to get kicked out of here. You don't know George Michael?
No.
He was the most handsome
I know
guy.
The name.
Well, okay.
Is he the dude who did the dance in the rain? The umbrella?
No, I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about?
No. Sounds like Prince.
Old movie. No, it's an old movie.
No.
And it was like a one take thing. He was a tap dancer, but he could also sing. And he did this like super long one take. That was a mixture of dancing and singing within the rain. And I can't even remember.
I don't know.
The singing in the rain. That's literally what it's called.
I've never watched that movie.
Singing in the rain.
No, it sounds like something like Brian Callen would say.
I don't know.
So George Michael was an English singer. He was most famous for before he went solo with Wham. Wham was this like 80s love group, like ballads or whatever. I don't know how you say them.
Ballad sounds closest.
And he was from the UK. And he actually let me see. I think he passed away. Oh man, that sucks, dude. So he was born June 25th, 1963, and he died on Christmas Day, in like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Yeah, 4 years ago, 2016. So that's, dude. Oh man, that kind of puts me in the feels because one of the most famous songs he had besides the one where it's, what is it called? It's one of them is Jitterbug, which is hilarious. You'll see it.
That one?
Yeah, you remember the Zoolander?
Yeah.
Orange Mocha Frappuccino. That one. So that's that song.
Okay.
He was also famous for another one. Oh gosh, I forget what it was called.
See, I don't remember people's names to the songs. I just remember the songs. Like, I don't even know the face to that song either.
Let's see. He was famous for Careless Whisper. My all-time favorite.
I don't know if I know that one without you singing it.
Nah, I'm not gonna sing that. Anyway, so we're here to celebrate the holidays with you guys. We've been a little bit away. I actually was exposed to someone with COVID, and I took a test last Sunday, and I came back negative. So that's why we're here today. Also, it's been the holidays. They get busier and busier every year. How did you spend your holiday, Greg?
Well, this year I wrapped everything ahead of time, but as my roommate and I were wrapping gifts for the kids, it turned into us just wrapping it, having no plan, just kind of we were gonna open up presents on Christmas to us deciding to wrap one present multiple times. So they had to like keep opening and opening and opening, like the box got smaller and smaller kind of thing. And then as we kept wrapping it, we were like, oh, what if we did this? What if we did that? So eventually it turned into, at one point of the wrapping, we wrote on there explosives, be careful. And then we put more wrapping on it. And on the top, we wrote top secret. And then we put a note on there with some clues because my roommate, he has a gun safe. And so you had to put in a code. And we bought the kids BB guns. So we put the BB guns inside of the safe. And when they found the present, they had to find the clues. One of them was, where do we eat but not sit? And it was the table. So they had to look under the table and pull one of the codes and keep them in order so they have the code to the safe. And the other one was, where do we eat? Or where do we store our food? And what state do we live in? Because we have magnets on the refrigerator.
Mm-hmm.
So we put one of the codes behind the state that we
Cool.
lived in. And then the other one was, one kid likes this, the other kid doesn't, splish splash, which is the bath. So there's a code in the bath. And then another one was, there was only 4. So the last one was behind an ornament. So they had to keep the codes in order and find the clues and then go open the safe and find their BB guns.
How long did it take them to figure it all out?
Not too long.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool, man. But they had fun?
Yeah. And then they got the BB guns and then they finished opening up the actual package. And we wrote on their names and Agent Oliver, Agent Elijah, and then they got their own gifts within that package.
That sounds pretty cool, dude. So I like the fact that you guys are already teaching them about gun safety, which is like putting it in the safe, and you're only allowed to get it when you're going to be supervised.
And we changed the code the second they opened it. We can change the code, and he changed it before we even closed the door.
Yeah, man.
Just in case.
That's good. So have they? How do you? What was the purpose of doing this? And because I already know the purpose, but we don't need to go into detail, but more as of like, why is it important to you to show your son like this aspect of life, I guess?
What, like having a BB gun kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, what? Because we can. I know for a fact that it comes from like, it's like I don't know, like what a man is supposed to do, in a sense, like
it doesn't have anything to do with that. The whole point, like, let's say when you start growing up, there's different things that happen, and you need to learn how to do it. So it's the same thing. When you learn that people fight, you need to learn how to stop fighting, or how to protect yourself, or how to even if you don't want to use a gun, you should know how a gun works to be able to survive if someone else has a gun. It's the same thing with everything you do. It's just like, if you don't want to drive, that's fine, but you should know how a car works so that you know that someone's going to stop at a red light and go on a green light. If you don't learn those things, then you're kind of screwed. It's the same thing with a gun, or in the package that he got a punching bag and boxing gloves, because he likes to punch people. So I gave him a way to punch something that's not someone, and so that he can learn to not hit people.
So this also sounds like you're just exposing them. Like, it's just exposure so that they are aware of what it is, how it works. It's up to them if they choose to use it. Yeah. Right? That's basically the whole concept. I thought maybe there was something more like, because I actually shot BB guns when I was a kid, mm-hmm. and my dad did teach us, but my brothers, dude, they weren't using them correctly. They were shooting other kids.
Oh no!
So that was the problem with them. But
so like, we were standing out there, and I had the BB gun in my hand, and a bird landed, and I said, "Hey, let's get the bird." And then I was like, "No, you don't do that. I'll let you shoot the bird if you're gonna eat it." And he goes, "Oh, nah, it's okay. We can go shoot some fish." And I was like, okay, we can go shoot fish then. Because he in his head he's like, I'm not gonna eat the bird, but I'll eat the fish.
Yeah.
So he right there he already understood the concept of it, and he moved on, and that's the whole point. Learning
Yeah.
the use for the tool.
So it's, yeah, like I said, it's more like of the exposure,
Yeah.
than any other reason. Oh, that's cool, man. So it's 2020, the whole COVID still, I guess, trending. It's still a thing nowadays. It's, people are saying that it's been mutating into a different strain. And are you at all worried still? Like,
No.
what do you think is going to happen next year?
It's gonna be the same thing.
How long do you think we're going to be in lockdown? Because I don't know how much of this, like, people can take, dude. I know everybody was out. I know everybody was family. Nobody, obeyed the stay-at-home order, or the whatever family. Only two families in a household, or
I mean,
you know what
some
I mean?
people did.
But the majority of
yeah.
people, especially in the Hispanic community, dude, nobody. In fact, we went to my sister's, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was just gonna be my family and my sister's family, and when we got there, they live like in a little strip in an apartment building, and everybody there had everybody was very festive. Everybody had the lights. Everybody was kind of like hanging out. It was outdoors. Everybody was like wearing a mask. Most people were wearing masks, and then eventually they just got rid of them.
Okay.
But my brother-in-law, he brought like this. It's like a flat burner.
Okay. Like you would make pancakes on, kind of thing.
Yeah, like a griddle.
Yeah.
And but we made like tacos, so like everybody in that strip of apartments came over and ate. We had some beers, but something that just popped out to me was the fact that everybody was saying the same thing, like, man, I am so happy that we were able to do this, because I don't know what I would have done without today, which was like, you people need to socialize. We need to be in groups. We need to be doing these things that allow you to, in one way, express yourself, and get out of that, like the mundane feeling of just being locked in.
I saw the same thing when we went to a park down the street from our house. We thought it was weird because there were so many people there. And I looked around and no one necessarily had anything like super high tech, super expensive, but it's things they didn't have before. It was a reason to go do things. And people can't consistently get things like that because families aren't making enough money to be able to spend that kind of money consistently, even on something that like a new skateboard, like $50 for a brand new skateboard for someone who doesn't have one. Most families can't do it. They only last for so long. And you gotta either get a new one or fix it somehow. And I noticed because all these people had new things, everyone was out and having a good time. There were so many people there. People were doing their thing, happy, not worried about
more than usual,
not worried
right?
about trolling someone on Call of Duty because they got more points.
But it was more than usual, right? Because I know for a fact that last year for Christmas, the streets were dead.
Yeah.
Like there was nobody out. Like I'm sure everybody got the new, system, entertainment system. All the kids were indoors playing video games. And this year, everybody opted for, we got a new bike, we got a new scooter, we got skates. Let's go outside.
Yeah.
And it's funny just how that works, because if in one way you could say that this year was good, at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Obviously, not speaking for most families that were affected. Some people were affected, and we can't really do much about that anymore. We can't really do much in that regard. We can't.
That's
like
one
what,
of the
what
things.
can I do?
Go ahead.
Like what can I say about that?
I mean, you can't talk about other people's situations. It's plain and simple. You can you can give advice for the future of those people's situations. So it's like there's some people who had a job and were able to pay for all of their expenses because of that job. But now you lose that job, and that job was kind of a specialty job almost, like it's hard to say, like once in a lifetime type of job. Like it'd be hard to find the same job. You're more than likely going to get paid less the next place you go to.
Mm-hmm.
Those people are living too far above what's easy enough to make. And that's something that I thought in my head. And no matter what, if I become successful in something, I'm not going to move past a very simple life, because it's easy enough. If that thing that if what gives you enough money to go and buy a $700,000 house, if that goes away at any moment, you're now screwed.
Mm-hmm.
You can't afford that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You could at that moment, but
Yeah.
not after that.
That's a
if
very
you go
good
and
point.
you live in a spot where you can be comfortable and buy extraordinary things here and there, then you're in a much more safer spot. Like let's say my rent's $900. If I got paid 10 times that, and I moved to a house because I could afford it at the time, but then I lose a job and I can't find a job that pays 10 times the $900 rent, then I'm screwed. But if I
Mm-hmm.
stayed in the $900 rent and I lost a job, I'm still good.
Not only that, but you can. I think that the secret to that is, before you get into something, make sure that it's almost paid for,
Yeah.
or like pay for half your mortgage, or like.
I feel like that's why I don't have things in my life, because I don't like to buy things that I can't pay straight out for. Like I paid off my car. I think I had to save. So I think it was a 5-year loan on the car. And I had to save enough money to pay it off. So I did the monthly payments for about 2 years. And then the third year, I had enough money to just pay it off. But I said, I'm going to give another couple months to put more money behind me. So when I pay it off, I still have money behind me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did that, and I paid it off, and I had no debt now.
You know
And I
what
think
that
that's
sounds like?
One of the things that put me ahead in this situation than other people is that I make sure there's nothing in my way, that I can only go up if anything happens.
Yeah. Okay, so that's like there's a community out there called the Debt Free Community.
Mm-hmm.
It's headed by Dave Ramsey, who he's like the money guru, and that's exactly what he preaches. Like, just
is he the religious guy?
I'm sure he's religious.
He
Yeah,
talks about money, but he also kind of ties it back into I want to say Christianity.
Yeah.
But his ideas of the way to do it, because a lot of churches use that, and they have a community like to try to help people.
I don't necessarily
with their finances.
I don't necessarily think that he.
Maybe we're talking about two different people.
No,
but if so, I took one of his classes.
It's Dave
before.
Ramsey, but he is religious. He is a Christian, but he doesn't like preach to you.
No.
It's all about, well, at least I'm sure he has maybe another
lessons to explain what's going on now.
Yes. And so that's what that sounds like. Like that's how he lives, and I think that that's something that well, this year I've been really lucky. Like we went over this a few times on the podcast. I've been lucky in the sense where not only did I not lose my job, but I also gained an opportunity, and it's so far it's going well. This year I'm preparing for something new, something more that's gonna put me under a lot of more pressure, but in the same sense it's gonna be good. So I'm excited. But so I actually want to touch upon how people went and did some creative things because they couldn't afford like presents for the family.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that my family did was do that. They didn't like all get together and buy presents as we usually do, like Secret Santas and stuff. We opted out for having this communal dinner where everybody could come in, and we just brought some drinks or whatever, like almost like a potluck, and everybody had fun. And I think that that's something that it's inherently in our nature to do. And I think that I personally get caught. I've been the person who gets caught up with, oh, like I need to get a gift for everybody. I need to do this. I need to do that. And even if it was well above my means at that time, and then you don't figure it out until like the second week of the new year, where you're like, man, I blew all my money. And because Christmas, believe it or not, man, you kind of have to plan for it. If you have a big family, you have to plan for it a long time, like a long ways before the actual holiday, because those like $20-$30 gifts for everybody, they'll add up.
Yeah.
And then you're not used to that. Plus, if there's like a, like we had like some things due in December that we don't normally pay during the year, like insurance, things like that. So we actually needed a plan for this Christmas in advance. And I'm sure a lot of people didn't do that. A lot of people, I'm sure, put it on credit cards and did all this and that. And that's where I see that the issue with money lies, that we kind of wait till the last minute and then we kind of just like emotionally buy things like, oh man, but then if I don't get this person, and then you dig yourself into a hole. And so what I really wanted to touch upon was first of all, what do you consider the best gift? And let me just come at that. What do you consider to be the best gift for you? Like, what's the best gift that you can give to someone personally?
In my head, it's something practical that they will use. So, like, I actually think if, let's say, I don't know, people don't buy socks that often. Like, I still have socks that I had in I'd probably even say middle school.
What? Damn, dude.
And someone buying me socks is so much more useful than someone buying me, I don't know, like
a gift
what's something
card?
like,
I don't know.
a gift card, or like
To like a restaurant.
Yeah, or someone giving me something that I've never really ever wanted, like, I don't know, like a picture frame for my house or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's so much more useful to me than anything like that, because it's practical.
Yeah.
Like
I
I
understand.
get a use out of it, then I don't have to go out and buy something like that. So things like that are much more
I understand.
accepted to me. Like if someone gets me something that I would never use, I'm like, thanks, and then it sits there.
Yeah.
And that's it.
It's like wasting money. So I ask you that because I want to even go a little bit deeper. Okay. I was noticing during this whole holiday that the money and the gifts are nice, but they're very temporary.
Mm-hmm.
They're very temporary. They're not, like you said, it may be a gift you don't even use. Yeah. It may be a gift that you use once. Like, I don't know. I have this view of like kids.
Mm-hmm.
When they do come for me, I don't think that I'll waste or buy a lot of clothes for them, because
yes, exactly.
It's like they're gonna grow up so fast that you're gonna have to buy clothes like so many times, before the first year, second year, third year. And so I was really trying to figure out what is the best gift I can give to someone that will leave a lasting impression and it will help other people in that same aspect.
The experience.
Well, yes, but also the best gift anybody can give is working on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you work on yourself, whatever that means to you, like let's say that you start exercising. Let's just give that example. Well, the person who's closest to you That could be your son, could be your spouse, could be the best friend you hang out with every day. That person's gonna look at you and see, oh, this guy is working out.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I should do that too. Or maybe you string them along, let's go on a hike, right? And so looking at things in that perspective, I think give much more value to people around you than giving somebody like a impractical gift.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this guy wanted a PS5. Cool. So now he can sit there and procrastinate all day, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking about that because I'm like, man, this year, I mean, yeah, it's been tough for people. Not everybody can afford to give gifts, but there are some things that are free. Like, let's say, for instance, the reason why I even picked up reading in the first place was because I joined the mastermind group with Robert and Gilbert. If it wasn't for them, I would have never started reading and I would have never learned certain lessons through the reading, right? And I'll give you another example. Back when I first got hired at the job that I have now, if it wasn't for the person who hired me to be the way they are, I would have never had any ambition in life. Like I was just working at a dead end job. Like I was just gonna stay there forever. Like I wasn't doing anything with my life. And I always thought, ah, man, there's more out there. There's more. And that's why when I became open to the idea that there was more
Mm-hmm.
by seeing it through somebody else who actually had more, it gave me a change in perspective that now it's allowed me to have this. It's allowed me to have the space for the podcast. It's allowed me to, provide for my family. It's given me an opportunity to even go above and beyond what I thought was possible in my own life. And that was just because of the guy. Like the guy is it's like he's not even like a regular person. And you know him. I think you met him one time, no? You met my boss one time? John?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
So if it wasn't for him, I would have never had these ambitions or, this perspective on life or anything like that. But in the same way, like just the past 3 weeks, my wife kind of just had this change in let's exercise, let's get healthy, let's do this, let's do that. So because of that, we've just been going to 1,000 steps, working out and feeling better. And then in turn, my dog gets the exercise that she requires. She's still a pup. So I don't know how to convey the message even more like clearer or straight to the point.
Yeah.
But the idea is that if you work on yourself, on whatever that is, if you have, like I have issues, dude. Everybody has issues. We all know that. Some of them are more apparent than others. Like you'll be walking around and in any time or any place, even if you're at a bar where you could barely hear people talk because of the music, there are people just shouting their drama out, like or shouting their their just their life story in a sense that, man, this is where I'm at. Like we're always trying to get help, from people. And if we just stop making excuses to not work on ourselves, everybody would be much better.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, what's something that you can do for your immediate circle that would probably impact them. And let's just start with your son.
Learn how to speak better, for one.
Well, I think everybody does.
Get off the computer, which I learned something last night, and it was the craziest thing. I was watching someone, and it's a streamer. I was sitting on the computer at the end of the night. I was playing the same game as this person, and they go, "Man, every time I wake up, a debate on playing this garbage game. And I sat there and I was like, yeah, where am I going? Like, I can do this, and I can make like small amounts of money from doing it. But if I put the same energy that I'm putting into this because it's fun to me into something else, I can get the same result, but more return to myself and more return to others around me.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one of the things that I've said the story before. My roommate has a son, I have a son, and they have the same mom. So we're going to start a YouTube channel, a challenge channel kind of thing. So it's dad and son versus dad and son. We're gonna do challenges and we're gonna go around to parks. And we're gonna review the park and do challenges like everyone else, like on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll call people out and start moving up. And it's gonna be a different kind of thing than this, where we do it live. I'll edit it and add things on, so it'll be more extravagant and not necessarily fake, if you will, but like the experience will be funner for the audience watching rather than sitting in airtime of us setting some game up or something. And so it's gonna give them something to work on, and it's gonna give us something to essentially push us to create something with ourselves. We have I got nothing to show. Like he researches stocks and he makes some money on stocks, and I play video games. But if we, I mean, his makes money in the long term. Mine makes some money in the long term. If we cut out some of that and actually communicated and push the kids into learning different things that don't have to do with school, then they have a higher chance of being successful in something later on. And that's one thing that I looked at with my son was I want to find out what he's enjoying and push him to learn that in a higher level rather than push him to do better in his history class because he's got a B and I think he can get an A. But unless he's interested in history, he's not really going to use it that much. Or same with science. Like, do you use science on a daily basis?
Well,
Not where you're at.
one could argue that this is science.
Well, but I'm talking about, do you need to know what photosynthesis is in your daily life? Do you need to know the medical term of blood in your normal day life? That's what I'm talking about. Like,
right.
we push them to memorize these things that they won't use on a consistent basis, and they could easily just go look it up if they need that simple answer.
I see your point, but I also think that education goes a long way, and
education the right way though.
Yeah, I'm not saying you solely it's education at school, because everybody knows, or everybody should know, that education starts at home.
Yeah.
When you educate your kids so that they can go into an environment where they know what they're doing. Like, I didn't know what I was doing at school, dude. When I was growing up, I had no idea. I was just, oh, it's just a place I go to. Mm-hmm. That's basically what my thought was.
Yeah.
Had my mom taught me to understand why I'm going to school, maybe it would have been a different story. Yeah. She was too busy. She was making, she was just bringing food on the table. That was all she could do. And now that I'm as an adult, I understand that. But now I also understand that there's other ways to educate myself, like picking up a book, hanging out with people who are more educated than me. People talk. People like to show you things. If you're open to it, somebody will show you. If you're open. If you act like you know everything, no one's gonna tell you. No one's gonna show you anything. It's like you don't want to be that type of like arrogant type of guy.
Yeah.
So, going back to the point, education is crucial for a kid, but if you mix this idea and okay, so one thing that I would say that's important would be to show him that it's important to understand what school is. and show them that it's like a tool, something that you could use to further, maybe educate your education for a different career long term. It also could be like a plan B. Maybe you want to show him that you don't necessarily need to go to school to get to bring, to put food on the table.
Mm-hmm.
That's what a business is. You can do, you can have a business, you can have a YouTube channel. These things are new. They're not, they're like 5 years old
Yeah.
at the most, right? Like,
Yeah. I feel like kids need to learn that they can make money before they get a job. Because once you get a job, you think that that's how you make money. If they learn that they can make their own money, like lemonade stands, kids aren't doing lemonade stands anymore. Why not? Like, even at schools, I don't think I've seen one, but like when I grew up, someone would have like a bakery table, and they would sell cakes and cupcakes at the end of the day. And I think a lot of that now has to do with all these allergies, and the school's responsible, so they cut it out. But like, you don't see that. Like, there used to be that one kid at school who would bring the backpack with candy and sell the candy to kids because the vending machines no longer had it. They need to learn that they can do things like that to understand that they're allowed to make their own money. Like, people feel weird about it. Like, I don't even know how to technically start a legal business. Like, why would anyone start one if they never knew how to do it? These are
well,
things that
I'll
need to be
tell you,
taught.
that it's not taught in school.
Yeah.
You're taught to. This is how I perceive school. School's important because it teaches you discipline. It teaches you the discipline that you need to get through a book, understand the book in most cases, and then present it to the class so that you show people that you understood the book.
Yeah.
It also teaches you about routine and structure. Aside from that, I don't know if everything that I was taught is actually accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Like, now going back, I'm like, well, they were teaching me history this way, and I had good history teachers, and some better than others. What's really hard? It's hard to take an idea and convey it so that everybody understands. Most kids or most people don't learn the same way. Some people are hands on, some people are hands off.
I think a lot of it too is that the teachers at a certain point are just like, hey, does everyone understand this? If no one says no, they move on, and kids don't.
Nobody rolls their hands.
No one's gonna say, "Ah, yeah, I don't get it."
So I had this teacher in high school. Well, when I was going to Foothill with you guys, the history was kind of boring. I never really paid attention. It was like just reading text, and that was it. And then I went to the other school, and it was like we were playing. What's that game where you try to conquer like the countries?
Risk.
Yeah, we played Risk, and then you had it came with trivia, so you needed to understand the story behind it. We did our studying at home first, and then we came in, and then we played, and then everybody was trying to win, so we paid more attention. We watched the movies, but we also dissected them. Like, what was this person doing at that time? What do you think he was thinking? So the understanding was a little bit better there.
Okay.
But it was just because of the teacher, right? But anyway, in the grand scheme of things, I think that it's both, good to understand that education is good. Because we can sit here and say, well, I didn't go to college, but we have an education from whatever it is, like from high school, at least we have an understanding. There's some people who don't even have that.
Yeah.
So it's also about that exposure. Like, if you're not exposed to anything outside of text, then you're going to have a hard life, because life is not like the text. Like, it's not about remembering a book, like you said.
And that's one of, you're talking about education, and that's where I see there's a difference between trying something in a responsible way, because you, like with the gun, like obviously I'm not going to give him an actual Glock and let him shoot a Glock. You teach him in steps and you learn, because before maybe you're like, yeah, I would never do that, because you know the repercussions of shooting a Glock towards someone. Where with a BB gun, you know the repercussions of a BB gun. Maybe you start with an airsoft gun. Maybe you start with like a little bean shooter. Did you ever make those?
Yeah.
Is it good? Yeah. Like you start understanding there's more and more consequences as you go up. And that actually ties into the Christmas present I got you. People don't understand the purpose of it. Oh
So,
no, people who we know don't understand the purpose of it, but it's so useful that
so we're doing this right now?
Let's go for it.
All right, man.
So take it. It's on the top. Can you reach it?
Yeah. Why don't you open yours first? Because
so
we didn't put too much thought into it, but it was something. Just open it. We're just gonna open our presents now. So because it's Christmas, and you know,
I don't think you wrapped this one, did you? It's too nice.
Pretty sure. No, I'm pretty sure we both did it.
2 people wrapping one gift?
Yeah. Dude, wrapping sucks, man. It's an art form.
You know, when I don't think about it, no, it's not that. It's when I'm wrapping for someone and I know they look at the wrapping paper, automatically I wrap it better without thinking about it. And when it's someone who I know doesn't care, it always turns out garbage. A new jacket. It's not the same one. I needed one and I was going to go buy one because no one was going to.
There you go.
Easy. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Sunstone. Never heard of that?
There you go.
You know, I've
Practical.
always looked for these ones that look like you're wearing double jacket. I've never had it.
There you go, man.
Perfect. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. So
this is definitely an educational one for
I'm excited.
For us Americans.
I'm excited. Is it Mexican?
No, I think it came from the French.
French. What is this? Oh, yes. Yes. This is the best Christmas gift I got this year.
I don't know.
This
Have
is
you
a
ever
bidet?
used? Yes. Have you ever used one before?
No, I've never used one before.
Okay.
I'm
so that's
so
why I'm saying it's
excited,
a very educational thing. Like I would never have used one when I grew up. I went to Peru, and inside the hotel room, there was a bidet, but their bidet is like a toilet without a toilet seat on it. So it's like you move over, wash your butt, then go back and dry yourself. So I was like, no, that's weird. That's disgusting. There's gonna be water splattering everywhere. And I used mine for the first time this morning. And I got up, I was like, what the hell? Did I just take a shower? And it's so much better. You wipe once because all you got to do is dry yourself.
You know what's funny? I'm going to read some of these quotes right here of people who received one for whatever reason. This one says, bidet is love, bidet is life. I get sad now when I have to wipe at work. Cleaner than clean, a bottom's best friend. I no longer enjoy any bathroom without this thing. Let's see. If wiping has been troublesome and or painful for you, this device is a blessing. The French were really onto something. This isn't a joke. It is awesome.
And it's so funny because it makes so much sense, but also it's just like you don't think you have to change the way you've been doing something because it works.
So
and you can always do something better, and you always hear that, but you never apply it.
Thanks, man. I'm gonna go try it right now, dude. I'm gonna put this on hold.
Surprisingly, that thing it's so easy to set up that I did it myself. But to tell you the truth, so my roommate, he's a very hands-on. He'll fix anything. There's a problem, he'll get it fixed. So one of his Christmas presents from his son, from his mom's house, they bought it and he brought it over, was a drywall patch kit because my son kicked a hole in his wall on accident. And so he's like, oh wow, this is actually useful, I'll use this. And so now he's got the kit that he needed to fix the wall, and that's what he's been very hands-on. So I installed it, I put it on, and I was like, I just want to make sure that I don't have to calibrate nothing so it doesn't like blow up. So just look at that real quick. And
cool. I want to give these guys a shout out. It's called Luxe, Luxe. bidet. This is the model Neo 120, so it's the chosen one.
Yeah, you can find it on Amazon.
Cool, man. This is awesome. I'm gonna try it today. I know for a fact I'm gonna try it today.
And it has a cleaning function too. So like, it's high tech and low tech at the same time. It's crazy.
Now, what was the feeling like when you first turned it on?
The first time I used it twice. The first time was
damn. Look at him twice on the first time.
The first time I didn't go to the bathroom. The first time I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't gonna make a mess, because you don't want to spray it and it make a mess and like you had gone. So I tried it, and the first time I was like, oh god, no. The second time I turned it to full blast, and I was like, "Hi, got this." So the first time's weird for sure.
You know what
you have to get used to it, because it shoots water. So
you know what's funny, dude? I don't understand why this isn't standard in American homes.
I mean,
why are we still on TP? Like, I don't understand.
It's because we are all about money. We don't have the want. Or that, like I said, when we went to the park, everyone had something that gave them happiness, even if it was something small. That half the time you go out to do that, and you would end up just hanging out with your friends anyways.
Right.
Like, there are people playing basketball in groups of people who don't even know each other because they all happen to get a basketball. We don't have enough situations like that to where it brings crowds from outside of its normal bubble.
Well, I'll tell you this. This is a perfect example of lack of education. People don't know that we could use bidets.
Yeah.
You know, that's...
I didn't even know they could be that cheap. I thought they just were a secondary toilet that you couldn't fit in one of these bathrooms.
Yeah. And you know what's... Okay, so... You know what's funny? These things are everywhere in Europe.
Yeah.
It's standard.
In most places they are, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand. I mean, I'm sure. Look, now I'm eco-friendly. What's up?
every toilet in my house has one of those now.
What's up, dude? I'm eco-friendly now.
Yeah, I bought that for everyone. Everyone has one of those now.
This is awesome, dude. Thanks, man.
And that's what when I look at Christmas, that's what I talk about. Something practical that people aren't getting, that they're not expecting at the same time. So it's just like, it makes sense. Like, the jacket makes sense. I wear the same one that's been garbage for like 2 years.
I know that's
and I don't want to get a new one.
I was like, damn, Greg, that one's a little faded over there.
I know, but see that, like, I don't care. Like, I think I've had these jeans since high school.
But
no, these are a little later.
I'm the same. Like, when I buy certain things, they're usually like better quality, but I also like to take care of my things, so they will last a long time. Like, dude, I've been wearing this Christmas sweater. By the way, everybody, this one says "Believe," and 2020, dude. I'm ready for the aliens. You know, just bring them out. That's what. Let's.
We can't bring them out. They're already here.
Let's end the year with a bang and let's just get the aliens out already. Come on.
Maybe they're coming on the year.
So I've had this sweater for years.
Yeah.
And so I mean, it's probably my favorite Christmas sweater. But
I have a drawer of clothes that when I know I'm not going anywhere, I put them on, because it's like the ones that, like, there's like a hole right here, or like the pants are all like stained, or there's paint on them, like it's stuff like that. I keep that stuff because it's like, if I'm not gonna go somewhere, I'm gonna put on my new clothes. If say I have a meatball sandwich that day, I'm gonna spill marinara sauce on me or something. Like,
right? No, I know practicality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's Christmas, man. And not just Christmas, but the holidays. Everybody celebrates their own holidays. The one thing that it has in common is giving. A little bit of selflessness goes a long way, especially in a year of need.
Mm-hmm.
We needed this. We needed to have time for family. It's like we're all scared. Everybody's scared. You know, what's going to happen? I don't have my job. I don't have this. I don't have that. How am I going to feed my kids? Rent's going to be due, you know, in California on January 31st, whether you have it or not.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? Are you gonna get evicted? Are you like what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen to your livelihood? You know. So the holidays. I noticed that everybody was just, even if it was small, even if it wasn't something that cost much, just the thought of caring goes a long way.
Yeah, and that I started looking at the Christmas stories and where all these things came from. And Santa Claus is more or less an artist created a guy named Santa Claus, and it kind of stuck on, and and that's how we see Santa Claus now, with a big beard, jolly red, and it's evolved over time. And I started thinking that it's evolved so much from where it began that more than likely we don't even know where it actually began, and it's evolved so many times that eventually we're going to evolve past that. And it's all just about celebrating something that is the end of the year, and we're just out there to have fun. Like how we were talking about holidays, saying happy holidays. Soon it's going to have nothing to do with Christmas. It's going to have to do with something we call holidays that may evolve into something else. That it's still the same concept. At the end of the year, we're coming together, giving happiness or giving gifts, whatever it is. That it's still kind of the same concept.
Well,
just
I'll tell you
looks
what,
different.
dude. I'll tell you what.
And that's how I feel about life.
If the aliens come tomorrow or on the 31st at midnight, that's Christmas is done. Christmas, everything we thought is gonna be done. It's gonna be the day that our friends from Mars came and visited us, or from Planet X.
It's gonna be no different than us discovering the United States from Christopher Columbus coming over, kind of concept. It would be no different than that.
Greg, are you saying that we're gonna get pillaged?
Maybe we will, or maybe it's the other way around.
Imagine. Oh,
who
no.
knows?
Yeah, who knows, man?
Imagine what would have happened if the Indians came to Europe instead. Would something have happened differently, or were the Europeans more advanced than the Indians, and it would have still happened the same way? So maybe that's, I don't know.
I don't know, man. That's the thing about life. So I was having this conversation with an in-law. You know, she's very religious now, just turned very very religious out of nowhere. And I took the time, heard her out, what's her perspective, what she believes in. But I also, not that I didn't challenge her to be like mean, but I did, just I came at an angle where I made her think about things too. I don't think there's an absolute answer to everything, right? And the problem is that we like to think of ourselves as very grandiose. Like we put ourselves on a pedestal. Mm-hmm. We're really just a small little speck in the big picture, of the big picture in life.
Yeah.
Like we're just a little bubble going thousands of miles around the sun. I don't know how that even happens. So, she was like, "Oh no, but this is the way it is. This is the way it says," and I was like, "Yeah, but is it?" Like
it's like looking at the ocean. The ocean as a whole is pretty interesting, but that one droplet doesn't matter.
Yeah, and that's what I was and the way I don't know, man. I feel like maybe I should have that podcast with her. Maybe we should have that podcast because it's interesting. Because it's very it's interesting to talk to someone who. I mean, the idea is this is the way it was. This is the way it is. But at the same time, like you need to be open for what if it's not. We need to have that little bit of room of doubt.
I think it would be beneficial to have that type of podcast to be able to hear from different religious views, because I think you said there was someone too who got into like tarot card reading and stuff like that. So like the views on life would be completely different, but it would be very good to talk directly to them and let them tell us how they see it. this is something that I heard the other day about how Keanu Reeves approaches people he doesn't know or people with different ideas. If they come up to him and they say, like, the sky is green, he'd be like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, the sky is green. So he can hear the other person out and still have a conversation, even if they don't have the same view. Like, you can get more ideas and more information than you would otherwise. Because what happens if you're colorblind and the sky is actually green?
Mm-hmm.
How will you know if you don't hear things out and maybe see something differently because you don't have to have the capability. Like if you're deaf, you don't have the capability of hearing. Doesn't mean it's not real.
You know, that's actually a skill I picked up very early on. Do you know if Keanu Reeves had a dad?
Yeah, I think a lot of his family had died actually.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you know how old or no?
I don't know any of that.
Because for me, because I didn't have that father figure or that the dad to tell me, oh, this is the way life is, and kind of structure my life, I actually had to learn from other people. So let's say that I met you, and you had a certain idea. I would take the time to hear you out, and then I would filter the idea into my own life. Like if you said, oh, as a kid, hey, you know, let's go hang out with these guys, and then I'm like, okay, and then we went, but then they were like eating marijuana leaves for whatever reason. Then like I wouldn't partake, but I would be there so that I could understand, like, oh, that's what that is. And then later I I would take the information that someone was willing to give me, and yeah, I think I picked that up early on, man, because of the lack of not having a father. So yeah, I mean, I don't know where I was going with that, but the idea is to just allow somebody to speak so that we can gather more information and see how they see the world, because there's ideas out there that maybe we're not open to, and maybe they see the world a different way, and it's always a give and take. Like they'll learn something, we'll learn something new, and I think that that's just the best way to learn, to be honest.
Because that's something that Mark and I have been talking about, is bringing more people on. So this next year we should have more people coming into the podcast.
Yeah, this year, because of everything, I think it took a dump. Yeah. You know, we didn't. I felt uncomfortable, not because of me, because, you know, like the Dolph Lundgren says, if he dies, he dies.
Maybe we could still probably even just bring people in, like when we did the rabbit holes. Just put up the screen here in the middle with the third person, and we can still do the interview and still have that going, even if we can't have people come here. Yeah. So we'll still have people.
Yeah. There's also a few things that we're going to be working on for the new year. But I just want to reiterate the point about giving. You know, whether it's a holiday or not a holiday, I feel that the best thing to give to people is a better version of yourself. Whether you're lonesome, maybe you're lonesome for a reason.
So give your loneliness to someone else. No.
No.
Yeah.
You know, it's, if you're lonesome, is there a reason why you're lonesome?
Yes. Oh, you're not asking me. Sorry. Continue.
And if maybe you come off too much, is there a reason why you come off too much?
Yes. Sorry. Go ahead.
But I think that that's the best way to change the world, is being a better version of yourself. It's like the butterfly effect. Because I read today and I was able to talk about a certain thing with a certain person, like that interaction might change that person's life. You know, there are some certain things of that happened through a conversation or through a genuine connection with somebody that you may not think that it's important, but to them it might be really important.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's been some times where my mentor, not he doesn't necessarily tell me something to tell me something. He just says it because he feels it, and then I go home and think about it all day. I'm like, damn, like that's true. Like maybe if I did that, things would be different. And so indirectly, even if you don't mean it, that conversation still changed my perspective and put me on a path of, becoming better. So in the same way, the best gift, in my opinion, to give to people is to offer the better version of yourself. And how do you do that? Is by continuously working on yourself. We're approaching a new year. What are you going to do in the new year? What's going to happen? What are we going to do? Are you going to be the same person you were this year? Lonesome because you can't get along with anybody? Or are you going to open yourself up to hearing other people before you speak? Or whatever the case may be, So that's just my 2 cents on Christmas or the holidays or about giving. I'm excited. Thank you, Greg, again for the gift. I'm excited to use this. Maybe I'll do a whole review on it. Maybe we should
review.
Yeah, maybe we should do
no
a
video,
review.
No video review, please.
We'll do a vlog. We'll do a vlog. Put it on OnlyFans.com. No, I think that's it. That's the message I wanted to convey to you guys. You know, what else? What else can we say on these days of the COVID Christmas? What else can we say? There's nothing we can say. It's just we have to keep your chin up and
come up with new ways to create happiness. Doesn't even if you're alone, you can make happiness.
Yeah, steep.
All right,
so
guys.
We're gonna wrap this podcast up. Next week. Let's see. Let me pull it up. I want to give the exact date.
Well, while he pulls that up, you can check us out on Instagram. We post every time before we go live. We should be posting some content every other day. Every other day is more than likely. It could come up every day. We also have Teespring. You can check that out in the description. It's got some merchandise on there. We should be adding some more here within the next year. You can look out for something new that we'll be using for social media and special events. Just hit us up. We go live when we record these too, so if you hit the notification bell, it'll tell you when we go live, and you can send us messages based off the conversation we're having for that day, and we'll either talk about it or we'll point out the question directly. Just make sure to subscribe right there. Did you find the dates?
So it's we're gonna do the 31st, right? So we'll do 31st. It's gonna be the same podcast, a little different concept, at least with certain things, a little bit more structure to bring in the new year. And with that, I mean, Greg said, just follow us on all the social media. You can listen to this podcast on every platform. So if you, for whatever reason, you can't watch us on YouTube, you can listen to this podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcast, everywhere else. And I think that next year, we're gonna do our best to get this even better, make this experience for you guys a little better, and we'll see what new things we can come up with. And I think that's it. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas to whoever celebrates that.
We'll see you before the new year.
We'll see you guys before the new year, and hasta la vista,
baby.